I never thought I'd be back in Willow Creek, Montana, staring at the old ranch house where I'd grown up riding horses and helping Dad mend fences under the big sky. My name is Emily Hayes, and I'd left this wide-open western landscape 5 years ago for a tech job in Seattle, chasing dreams that pulled me away from the dusty trails and family ties. But Dad's sudden passing, a massive heart attack at 63, they called it, dragged me right back into the heart of it all. The November wind whipped through the pines as I drove my rental truck up the gravel road, the Bitterroot Mountains looming like silent witnesses. Everything felt off from the start, like the land itself was holding its breath. The funeral was held at the local chapel, a simple wooden building that smelled of pine polish and fresh-cut flowers. I arrived early, but the place was already buzzing with folks I half remembered, ranch hands who'd worked our land, neighbors from down the valley, and distant relatives who'd show up for barbecues back in the day. No one met my eyes as I walked in, my boots echoing on the floorboards. The director, a kindly older man named Harlan, stopped me at the door.
Mom.
I hate to ask, but I need to check the list. I blinked. I'm his daughter, Emily. He scanned his clipboard, frowning. I don't see you here. Maybe a mix-up? That's when I spotted her, my cousin Laura, standing by the casket in a sleek black dress that screamed city chic, not Montana practical. She turned, flashing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Emily, didn't think you'd make it. You know, with your big city coding gig and all. The service blurred by in a haze of hymns and eulogies. I sat in the back, feeling like an outsider in my own family story. The pastor talked about legacy and kin, praising how Laura had stepped up to care for Dad in his later years. My gut twisted. I'd try to visit, called every week, but Laura always had reasons. He was resting, or out riding, or not up for chats. She'd painted me as the absent daughter, too busy for home. After the burial at the family plot overlooking the creek, we headed to the law office in town, a cozy setup in an old brick building downtown, walls lined with photos of cattle drives and pioneer days. The lawyer, Tom Whitaker, had handled Dad's affairs for decades. He cleared his throat as we settled in. Folks, there's some confusion here. The will on file is from 2017. No updates since. Laura's named executor. My heart sank. Dad had called me just months ago, voice steady over the phone, saying he was fixing things, making sure the ranch, his classic Ford pickup, and even his guitar collection went to me. We'd patched up old riffs, laughed about old times. But now Laura stood, all poise and sympathy. Uncle Jack wanted everything kept in the family fold. The ranch stays put. Investments too. He was adamant about that. Her eyes flicked to me, almost staring. What about the new will? I blurted, standing. He told me he was updating it. Laura's face softened into fake concern. Oh, I know it's tough. But toward the end, with his meds, Doc Riley can vouch he got foggy sometimes. Whispers rippled through the room. Folks shifted, avoiding my gaze. Only old Mr. Harlan, Dad's neighbor from the next spread, looked my way with a knowing nod. The meeting wrapped fast, everyone muttering about the weather and heading home. I stood in the lot, wind biting through my jacket, watching Laura drive off in Dad's truck like it was hers. Miss Hayes? Mr. Harlan approached, leaning on his cane. Your pa was a stand-up man. Deserved better. He slipped a rusty key into my hand. He left something for you. Check the attic loft before they do. And Emily. His mind was sharp as a tack till the end. He vanished into the dusk. leaving me gripping that key like a lifeline. Next day, I called Laura from my motel. I want to swing by the ranch, grab some mementos, photos. Maybe Dad's old watch. She paused, then sighed. Sure. Family first. Come around noon. I've got a community meeting this morning. Dad never bothered with those fancy luncheons. I showed up early, parking out of sight behind some junipers. The ranch looked timeless, log cabin style. Wraparound porch where we'd sip coffee at dawn. Laura's fancy SUV sat there like an intruder. She answered mid-call. Yoga pants on. Gotta go. Emily's here. We toured the house. But it felt wrong. Dad's rodeo trophy's gone. Replaced by abstract art. Updating things, she said. Place was getting run down. I nodded, grabbing knickknacks, all while noting her fidgeting. At 11:30, her phone rang. My trainer forgot all about it. Grief messes with you. Stay as long as you like. Just lock up.
I waited till her highlights faded.
Then headed to the attic stairs. The key fit a hidden lock. Dust swirling as I climbed. Boxes everywhere, holiday gear, my old 4-H projects, home videos. Behind some faded magazines, a camcorder bag stuffed with VHS tapes labeled with dates, my Sweet 16, Thanksgiving 97, Christmas 98. Beneath was a leather-bound journal, Dad's neat script filling pages. I flipped open. April 10th. Laura dropped by again, asking about the ranch deeds. Her mom, Evelyn, tagged along, hinting at selling off land. They don't know I caught em rifling through my desk last week. My hands trembled. Later entry, August 5th. Talked to Emily tonight. Made me see straight. Been letting Laura drive a wedge. Set up with Tom to revise the will. Everything to M. Then, August 12th. Laura sniffed out the appointment. Been hovering, bringing food, sorting my pills. Evelyn jokes I'm forgetting things. But I see their game. The last, week before passing. If I don't make the update, show Emily the 98 Christmas tape. Kept a backup cam running. Truth's there.
Sorry. Kiddo.
Should have fought harder. I shoved it all in my bag, heart pounding, and slipped out the back as her SUV returned. That night, tapes spread on the motel bed. I stared at Christmas 98. What secret had Dad buried there? The tape called to me like a ghost from the past. But first, I needed backup. I rang up my old friend Mia at dawn. She'd been my high school buddy, now a reporter for the Bitterroot Gazette, always digging into local scandals like water rights disputes or shady land deals. Emily? Everything all right? Her voice was groggy. Need your help. And a VCR. By 8 a.m., I was in her cozy apartment above the town's main street, a coffee in hand as she hooked up an ancient player. You look wrecked, she said, plopping down. Thanks. Dad's death. It's not adding up. I handed over the journal. Read this while I load the tape. The screen flickered to life. Our old living room. Tree twinkling. Dad in his favorite armchair with hot cocoa. Off camera. Aunt Evelyn. Jack. Sign this. Just beneficiary tweaks. Dad hesitated. Should wait for Emily, she's upstairs. Not feeling great. Laura stepped in, young and smirking. She's probably texting friends. You know kids. Too wrapped up. Lie, I'd been down with flu. The meds are clouding you, Evelyn pressed. Dad's voice slurred oddly. The cam shifted, showing Laura's hand near his mug. Sign for the family's sake. Mia gripped my arm as Dad signed shakily. But the tape kept rolling. They'd botched turning it off. How long till full effect? Laura whispered. 10 minutes. Won't recall a thing tomorrow. Good eyes saved those painkillers from my back surgery. They plotted, filing changes, isolating him, faking confusion. A second hidden cam on the shelf caught it all, forging signatures, snapping pics of his ID for notaries. If he fights, Laura asked, we'll manage, control his calls.
Docs.
Neighbors will back our story on his decline. Evelyn laughed coldly. We watched in horror as they rifled his desk while he slumped.
Drugged.
This is elder abuse.
Fraud, Mia whispered.
Another tape from 2019, them shredding papers in his office via a nanny cam. Old Will's toast, Evelyn said. Lawyers got our version. If he tries again, we'll stop it, monitor everything. Mia paused it.
Inc.
This is huge. Conspiracy. Maybe more if his heart attack wasn't natural. We sat stunned. Dad hadn't cut me out. He'd been trapped, leaving clues like a Western sheriff laying traps. We copy everything, Mia said. And you need a lawyer. I know Sarah Klein, does pro bono for family disputes. She called while I pored over the journal, more on isolation, tampered meds, stolen mail. By noon, Sarah met us at Mia's. Sharp-eyed.
No nonsense.
This video's gold. Proves undue influence.
Forgery.
Legally, we can contest the will under Montana law. Need affidavits. Maybe a PI to dig deeper. I hesitated. Funds are tight. Laura's got control. Sarah nodded. Pro bono if it checks out. But Emily, this humane angle, your dad fought smart, not vengeful. Let's honor that. We filed a petition that afternoon, freezing assets temporarily. Laura called furious. Police say the attic was jimmied. If this is you. Wasn't me, I said coolly. Check motel cams. She hung up. Next day's blurred, Sarah building the case. Mia leaking hints to stir buzz. I visited Mr. Harlan, who swore an affidavit on Dad's sharp mind, recalling Laura's visits, turning controlling. One evening, digging more tapes, I found one from last summer, Dad alone, speaking to Cam. Emily, if you're watching, know I love you. Laura's twisted things, but I documented it all. Don't hate, understand desperation, but fight for what's right. Tears stung.
His voice. Steady.
Full of regret. Sarah called. Got pharmacy records. Extra scripts in Evelyn's name for heart meds Dad didn't need. Digitalis levels high in his talk screen. Buried in files. My blood ran cold. Overdose. Possibly. DA's interested. Laura lawyered up. Countersuing for harassment. Town split. Some saw her as dutiful. Me as greedy. But evidence mounted. Mia's article hit. Hidden tapes expose family rift. Calls poured in. Old friends confirming Laura's manipulations. I confronted Evelyn at her small ranch. Why? She paled. Was for security. Jack was slipping. Tapes say otherwise. She broke. Admitting small parts but blaming Laura. She pushed it. Humane crack showed. Evelyn seemed regretful. Trapped by her daughter. Sarah advised. Offer her a deal. Testify for leniency. I agreed. Wanting truth over vengeance. Lesson brewing. Family bonds fray without open talk. As the hearing neared, I felt Dad's presence in every clue, guiding me toward not just justice, but healing. The probate court in Willow Creek was a no-frills room in the county building, packed with locals curious about the Hayes family drama. Judge Harlan, no relation to Mr. Harlan, banged the gavel at 10 a.m. Laura sat primly, Bandaged wrist on display from a stress injury, her lawyer Mark Stanton objecting at every turn. Sarah stood tall. Your Honor, we present video evidence invalidating the 2017 will due to fraud and undue influence. Stanton jumped. Irrelevant, my client's fragile. Judge, play it. The Christmas '98 tape rolled. Gasps echoing as Laura and Evelyn's whispers filled the room. Jury, mostly ranchers and townsfolk, leaned in, faces hardening at the drugging. Forgeries. Sarah followed with the 2019 shredding vid. Montana Statute 72-2-501. Wills procured by fraud are void. I took the stand, voice steady. Dad and I were tight, trail rides, fixing engines. Then calls stopped. Laura said he was mad at me. Tapes showed the isolation. Stanton grilled. You left for Seattle. Abandoned him. I tried reaching out. She blocked me. Whispers grew. Sympathy shifted. Then Sarah dropped the bomb, reconstructed shredded docs from a storage unit we'd traced via a PI. Medical files show digitalis poisoning days before death, hidden from autopsy. Court erupted. Prescription in Evelyn's name. Filled weeks prior. Laura paled. Lies. But footage showed her loading boxes pre-hearing. Evelyn. Called next. Cracked under oath. Laura planned it, said it'd look natural. I went along. Scared. Stanton objected wildly. But damage done. Outside. Reporters swarmed. Emily. Revenge. I paused. Not revenge, truth. Dad wanted family whole. Back at the motel.
Miauged me.
You're strong. But doubt hit. Was crushing them humane? Dad's journal echoed. Don't let anger win. I called Laura's lawyer for a meet. Offering mediation. Testify truthfully. We dropped some claims. Stanton scoffed. But Laura showed next day at a neutral diner. Eyes red. Why offer? Because family's more than money. Dad wouldn't want endless hate. She confessed bits. Jealousy over my bond with Dad. Financial woes pushing her. Mom followed my lead.
Tears fell.
I didn't mean for him to die, just control. Sarah drafted a deal. Laura pleads to fraud. Lesser charges. Evelyn to accessory. Assets revert per original will. But I allocate a small trust for them post-sentence.
Da grid.
Seeing rehabilitation potential. Hearing resumed. Laura admitted guilt tearfully. Judge. Evidence overwhelming. But remorse noted. Will invalidated. Original upheld. Ranch. Truck.
Guitars to me.
Criminal trial set. But please meant shorter terms. Post-ruling. I visited the ranch attic. Finding more. Dad's letters to me. Intercepted by Laura. One read. Emily. Life's too short for grudges. Talk it out. Lesson hit. Open communication prevents rifts. I invited Evelyn over. She arrived wary. Sorry, she whispered. We talked hours. Unpacking years. Not full forgiveness. But a start. Mia wrote a follow-up. From betrayal to bridge building. Town warmed. Neighbors dropped casseroles. As winter snow dusted the prairies, I fixed up the ranch, turning it into a community spot for youth programs, Dad's dream. Laura wrote from jail. Thanks for the chance. Humane ending. Not total ruin. But redemption. Dad's clues taught that truth heals when paired with mercy. Settling back into Willow Creek felt like slipping into worn boots, comfortable yet reminding of old blisters. The ranch buzzed with activity. I hired local hands to mend fences. Planted a garden Dad always talked about. But nights, ghosts lingered. I'd play his guitars by the fire, strumming tunes he'd taught me, wondering if I'd done right by offering Laura that deal. Sarah checked in. Criminal trials next month. Your testimony's key. But please mean no death penalty push, just fraud and manslaughter. Manslaughter, digitalis overdose ruled accidental in intent, but negligent. Humane, perhaps, but justice? Evelyn testified first, detailing how Laura sourced the meds. Mixed them in Dad's coffee to calm him during little disputes. She said it'd make him agreeable, not kill him. Laura broke on stand. I panicked when he found out about the forgeries. Wanted time to fix it. Jury convicted. But recommended leniency, 5 years for Laura. Probation for Evelyn. Judge cited my mediation push. Plaintiff's compassion influences sentencing. Outside court. Evelyn hugged me. You saved us from worse. I nodded. For Dad, he believed in second chances. Reclaiming the estate clarified legally. Montana probate transferred titles smoothly. No appeals since confessions. I sold some investments for a foundation honoring Dad, scholarships for kids like me. Chasing dreams, but tied to roots. Mia's stories evolved, from scandal to inspiration. Emily Hayes turns tragedy into triumph. Reporters asked about the light lesson. I said, family drifts without effort. Talk early. Forgive where possible saves heartache. One spring day. Clearing the barn. I found Dad's old safe, inside. Deeds and a letter. If things go south. Remember, ranch is yours, but share the land spirit. Inspired. I invited Laura post-release for a visit, supervised. She arrived hesitant. Prison pallor fading. We walked the trails. I envied you, she admitted. Uncle Jack lit up around you. He loved you too, till the lies. Tears flowed. She apologized genuinely. Not instant fix. But we agreed to therapy. Rebuilding slowly. Community embraced. Barbecues. Trail rides. Mr. Harlan shared stories. Your pa knew you'd find the tapes, said you had his grit. Lesson solidified. Revenge destroys. Understanding mends. As summer bloomed, the ranch thrived. Horses grazing. Kids learning ropes. Dad's legacy. Not just property, but humanity in hardship. Years blurred, but Willow Creek anchored me. The ranch became a haven, retreats for fractured families. Workshops on communication, Dad's unintended gift. Laura, out after 3 years good behavior. Moved nearby, working at a local clinic. We met weekly. Unpacking past, therapy helped. Evelyn lived with her. Gardening together. Not picture perfect, but real.
Mia married, istud bridesmaid.
Her articles now on healing stories. One Christmas. We gathered, first since '98. No drugs. Just cocoa and truth. Laura gifted a framed photo. Us kids with Dad. To new starts. I played the clean part of the tape, laughter. Not betrayal. Tears mixed with smiles. Lesson. Forgiveness isn't forgetting, it's forward moving. Legally. All settled, no loose ends. The tapes? Donated to a law school for elder abuse studies. Dad's guitar strummed by grandkids someday. Under Montana skies. Road trails. Feeling his presence. Betrayal stung, but redemption healed. Family's fragile. Nurture it. Communicate. Extend grace. That's the light he left.